Guys, more than half of men over 40 experience ED in some form. They're myths about ED. Like, it's just part of getting older. You have to accept it. Guys, that isn't true. This is why I want to tell you about our sponsor, Peter MD. If you think you might be suffering from erectile dysfunction, you can get help from Peter MD today. Guys, the process is simple. You're going to purchase medicine from a variety of oral options, and you're going to complete the medical intake forms that get emailed to you upon purchase. A doctor is going to review the intake forms. Then he's going to contact you and see if there's any concerns. If there are no concerns, the medicine is ordered with a U.S. licensed pharmacy, and it's going to get shipped in a discreet, beautiful package right to your door. You're then going to get an option to refill anytime through the custom Peter MD patient portal for a lifetime with one follow-up per year with your provider. Peter MD is growing exponentially, and it has over 3,000 reviews to back their reputability. So help yourself get back on track with your sexual performance and get 15% off any ED product with my code RISEUP at checkout, or just click on the link below. Derrick Lewis is one of the great characters ever in MMA. And he embraced things early. Turns out he's got a wonderful personality. Like, everybody that meets him likes him, right? He ends up doing this trash-talking session with Daniel Cormier that picks a fight and sells out Madison Square Garden. Oh, by the way, it might have been the most playful back and forth. I mean, he stood his ground. He never, let down the fourth wall, or he never laughed or did things like this. But, I mean, he said he didn't like Daniel because Daniel had insulted Popeye's chicken. It was funny. Which, by the way, Daniel, who loves it, said he did not do that. I mean, it turned into a thing. If you know what I'm talking about, great. But even if you don't, it was interesting. Everything he does is interesting. And then somewhere along the way, he decides he's going to embrace social media, specifically Instagram, in a way like no MMA fighter did. And a lot of it, well, when I say a lot of, all of it, 99.5% of it, it wasn't even him. He was identifying great clips that other people did and just posting it on his channel. This stuff might sound simple, but he did it. He took the time and he did it, and he was disciplined, and it was interesting. Then he starts beating a bunch of people. Then he starts losing weight. Then he starts he's got new coaches and starts taking things more serious. Derrick Lewis on the ground, you're never going to compliment him. Derrick Lewis on his back, acting like he's going to pull up a guard or something along these lines. But Derrick Lewis's escapes are as good as I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. You tell me somebody that held him down. And it's a very interesting proposition. Even the way that he tells his backstory, which was a event that he was not proud of. It landed him in custody, but even the way he tells that story, you see the charm and the charisma. That turns out he's funny. He's got this relationship with Joe Rogan. I mean, not a lot of those things happen where an announcer and an athlete together create something special, but those two do. And I bring that up because the position that Derrick is in is very unusual. Derrick, like a lot of fighters that get to X age, have a hard time getting re-signed. And by hard time, they don't get re-signed. So Derrick, who is for sure a star, he is a pay-per-view draw. He is a live box office draw. He is the most famous and powerful fighter in the industry. If you're going to take a match to Texas, by the way, he won his last fight. That doesn't generally happen. I mean, that's the entire point. You get to a certain age and you're just not as good at doing this anymore. It's just the way it is. It's numbers. It's an algorithm. Okay, this guy falls into this category, run out his contract, bring up the next generation. It's one of those things, but we can't say it about Derrick Lewis. He's the same age right now when we're thinking of not resigning him. He's the same age right now that he was when he just put on a spectacular main card pay-per-view performance. So the argument doesn't, right? Sometimes the algorithm gets a little thrown off. So what do? You stick with the algorithm? This is what the numbers say. You have a guy that has a fight elsewhere. He does. He has a big fight that he could go and do elsewhere. It gives him leverage. That gives him a space in his column. Now, he's not threatening that. It's not what he's offering. He's not threatening anything. He politely said, I would like to be resigned. Politely. To the ovation of a live audience. They went crazy for him. I was in the building that night. Man, there was a few eruptions. Justin Gaethje got him. Poirier got him. No question. Did a cameo on George Masvidal. That place went crazy. But they was equal to the reception that Lewis got. Not only when he took his big body and jumped up off the ground, threw a knee that we've never seen him do before, he got just as loud of a pop when he took his drawers off. I mean, there's something there, right? You can't look away. There's something there with the beast. So he's got a massive fan base. He's coming off an impressive win, arguably the most impressive of his entire career. The way he did it, the surprise factor, what he was up against one day before he was on the undercard. Wonderboy Thompson, opponent misses weight. That fight falls off of the main card. They reshuffle the deck less than 24 hours before bell time. It was after weigh-ins, before bell time. Derrick all of a sudden is now on the main card. He's buried halfway through the main card. He was third from the top. I mean, what a difference a day makes, right? Whether Derrick Lewis knows that or not, he owes a big thank you to Wonderboy. I mean, that whole situation, I want Derrick back. I don't want him to go anywhere. I'm speaking up on Derrick's behalf. I want him back. I do get the algorithm, though. And you want to know who else will? You want to know who really does understand that you get to a certain age? I mean, you want to know who gets that? Derrick. He gets it. But there's exceptions, and he is exceptional. Can we agree? And is there a middle ground that we can get to? I don't know that Derrick's asking for an 8-fight deal. I don't know that he's saying, because I got this big win, I just proved to you I can do this for the next half a decade. What's wrong with a 3-fight deal? That used to be very standard. 3-fight deal was the way it was. It was a surprise if somebody got a 4-fight deal. There was no such thing as a 6-fight deal. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. Why can't we consider that? Now, what that does, it just kicks the can down the road. The situation we're in, we end up in this exact same situation. We just end up in it at a different time. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? If we, the viewer, don't want to lose an entertainer that brings us joy, what is wrong with us getting a few more wonderful moments with somebody we want to have wonderful moments with? I don't understand. I don't see where what I'm asking for is unreasonable. And I'm willing to be wrong, but I don't see where I am. When I tell you it's an algorithm, that is quite literal. That wasn't just somebody's decision or Derrick ruffled some feathers behind the scene and somebody's made it to a point. It's none of those things. Everybody likes Derrick. He's gotten to a certain age. He wins some. He doesn't win some. His contract's up. We got to shine up the next generation, right? Run a business here. Got to get an ROI. Got to start investing in the next guy who's going to be nothing but a loss like the rest of them for at least 5 years. But there's a chance after that. It's just a business. It's just the way that it goes. But there are exceptions for the exceptional. And I'm here to get the conversation started. Derrick Lewis qualifies as exceptional. I would like to see him resigned.